Hi, I'm Wang Liting, and I'll be talking about question 1. After China's entry into WTO in 2001, US became the major importer of Chinese products. In the end of 2018, President Trump ordered the imposition of tariffs on Chinese products. Nearly all economists who responded to surveys conducted by the Associated Press and Reuters said Trump's tariffs would do more harm than good to the American economy. So the first part of the question, use a diagram to explain why USA became the importer of Chinese products under WTO's free trade agreement. Before there was import of Chinese products, the market was at the equilibrium, producing Q1 at price P1. Under the free trade agreement, price fell to P2, and therefore the demand of Chinese products in US rise to QDT, which is quantity demanded with trade. However, at price P2, producers in the US were only willing to supply the amount QST, quantity supplied with trade. Therefore, US became the importer of Chinese products of quantity QDT minus QST. This is beneficial for the US because without trade, the consumer surplus is area A, producer surplus is area B plus C, total surplus is area A plus B plus C. However, with trade, the consumer surplus increased to A plus B plus D. Producer surplus is area C. Total surplus increased to area A plus B plus C plus D. Question 1, Part 2. Use another diagram to show how President Trump's tariff policy would affect USA's import of Chinese products. The diagram above shows the market of Chinese goods. After US became an importer of Chinese products and before the tariffs were implemented, the price was at P free trade, and the quantity supplied by US suppliers was at QS1 and quantity demanded was at QD1, and the import with free trade was of quantity QD1 minus QS1. However, after a tariff of $P tariff minus P free trade was implemented, the market was producing at P tariff, price P tariff, and the quantity supplied by US suppliers was at QS2. The quantity increased from QS1 to QS2 of US suppliers, and for the quantity demanded, it decreased from QD1 to QD2. Therefore, the imports with tariff decreased to a quantity of QD2 minus QS2. Therefore, President Trump's tariff policy affected USA's import of Chinese products by decreasing the quantity imported. Question 1, Part 3 and 4. Do you agree with those economists? Explain your arguments. Use graphical analysis to support your arguments. Yes, I agree with those economists' view that the Associated Press and Reuters said that Trump's tariffs would do more harm than good to the American economy. I agree due to the fact that tariffs will create deadweight loss and thus causing a fall in total surplus. With free trade, the consumer surplus is area A, B, C, D, E, F. The producer surplus is area G. The total surplus is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. However, with tariffs, the consumer surplus falls to only A plus B. Producer surplus is C plus G. Tax revenue is area E. The total surplus falls to area A, B, C, E, G. The deadweight loss created is area D plus F. Therefore, although producer surplus increases from area G to area C and G and also generates tax revenue of area E, the total surplus falls, and also a deadweight loss is created of area D plus F. Therefore, Trump's tariffs would do more harm than good to the American economy due to a fall in total surplus caused by the creation of deadweight loss of area D plus F.
Hey, my name is Victor. I will introduce equivalent text and externality in follows. If externality is that behavior do harm to not just themselves, but environment or other people also affected. When electroplating industry emit wastewater into river will cause unrecoverable results is a examples of negative externality. Equivalent is the price range of point A supply curve to point B supply curve. When someone produces negative externality into society, the government will impose and absorb the negative externality with equivalent tax. That's why the cost shifts from society to producers. Diagram telling us pigment tax discourage producers produce negative externality. Pigment tax will result in that when producers produce more, they are taxed more, because marginal private cost plus tax will almost equal to marginal society cost. So this consequence will give producers incentive to produce moderately. Diagram showing that why pigment tax will encourage economic efficiency. We can see that the range of negative externality like damages is included in tax in the black area, and the tax will use to prevent subsidy in the red area. So above mentioned is why prevent tax will create economic efficiency.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about public goods. To start off, there are two characteristics that are required for being a public good, and I'm also going to be giving two examples of public goods. The first one is non-excludable, and the second one is non-rivalrous. Non-excludable means that people can be prevented from using the goods, that they are available to everyone free of charge. As for non-rivalrous means that there are public goods that are consumed by people but whose supply is not affected by people's consumption. When goods match only one characteristics mentioned above, either non-excludable or non-rivalrous, they're generally called as impure public goods, and that there are two types of impure public goods. The first one is club goods. Different from pure public goods, club goods are goods that are non-rivalrous, but excludable. An example would be the cable television. The second one would be common resources. And common resources are goods that are rival but not excludable. Some examples would be public parks or the road system. And now I'm going to be talking about the free rider problem. So what exactly is a free rider? Now, a free rider is a person who receives the benefit of a good but avoids paying it. Since public goods are not excludable, so people have incentive to be free riders. It prevents private markets from supplying the goods, which causes market failure. For example, a person that regularly watches public television but fails to contribute to public television's fundraising drives is also known as a free rider. And now I'm going to be explaining why free rider problem would lead to under-provision of a public good or service and thus market failure. So it is inefficient distribution of good or services that occurs when some individuals are allowed to consume more than their fair share of shared resource or pay less than their fair share of the cost. And last but not least, I'm going to be providing possible solutions to the free rider problem. So when goods are free, market forces that normally distribute resources are absent. So free goods such as playgrounds may not be produced in the proper amounts. So how can the government help? Two ways would be by charging the service or to make a public good private. And that's it for my part. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dan Tingyuan, and I'll be talking about question 4. So to begin with, let me first tell you what is perfect competition. Perfect competition describes a market structure where competition is at its greatest possible level. To make it more clear, a market which exhibits the following characteristics I'm showing on the slide is said to show perfect competition. The first one is large number of buyers and sellers. This is because there have no barriers for entry and exit. Also, the firms in the perfect competition markets are all selling identical product, or you can say homogeneous product. And the last one is that every firm is a price taker. They take the price as decided by the forces of demand and supply. No firm can influence the price of the product. So now let's start to solve the question. Dry market is considered as a perfectly competitive market. Therefore, there are many competitors in the market. In 1996, Japanese drum manufacturing company Fujitsu had several factories in the world. All factories of Fujitsu operated independently and sought for maximizing their own profit. In that year, market price of drum fell sharply. Both factories had losses. Fujitsu decided to permanently close its factory in Durham, United Kingdom, but temporarily continue its production at its factory in Gresham, USA. For the question of part 1, is Fujitsu's decision of continuing Gresham factory a short-run or long-run decision? Well, the answer is it is a short-run decision, because the company is only temporarily continuing its production at the factory. On the other hand, the decision of closing Durham factory is a long-run decision because the firm has decided to permanently close the factory. For question number 2, an optimal price can be defined as the price at which a seller can have the highest profit possible. That is, the seller's price is maximized. The profit maximizing choice for a perfectly competitive firm will occur at the level of output where marginal revenue, which is the horizontal demand curve, is equal to the marginal cost. And in perfect competition, any profit-maximizing producer has a market price equal to its marginal cost. And this is also how the Gresham factory will choose the optimal quantity of output at the market price, which is QM and PM. For another question is that we have to understand that if our market price is smaller than average variable cost, then the firm should shut down. And in the same diagram, you can see that the orange line is the firm's short-run supply curve, which Gresham factory was temporarily continued to produce even though there was a loss. For question number 3, you can see the diagram on the slide. The Durham factory has been decided to be shut down permanently. So, if it's going to be shut down, it's because it is enduring losses, which means that you are producing at the price lower than average total cost, which you can see on the diagram is P1. However, the long-run market equilibrium E have a market price of PL, which is the minimum average total cost, which equals to MC, and this is the long-run equilibrium, which you are having zero economic profit. However, since you are producing at the price of P1, then you are not making money and you are enduring a loss. So at this point, P is smaller than average total cost, so you exit the market.
Hello everyone, my name is Cai Boyu and I'm going to talking about question 5. The topic is a classic example of natural monopoly, electricity company. In Taiwan, Taipower Company has selling electricity for 70 years, but recently an amendment is passed and ending Taipower Company's 70 years monopoly. The first question is about the definition of natural monopoly. Natural monopoly occurs if an industry is more efficiently with increasing size. That is, the marginal cost is low and constant. So when a firm increasing the output quantity, the total cost will not increase that much. So the average total cost curve will be decreasing. This situation is called economic of scale. That is, when producing entire market quantity, a single firm will have lower total cost than several firms. For other firms, this is a barrier of entry, so there is only one firm. Second question is why electric companies often become natural monopoly. In electric industry, the fixed cost of constructing a transmission network is so high, but the marginal cost of transmitting electricity to everyone is low. So the average total cost curve will like this. It will be decreasing. So the electric company often become natural monopoly. The third question is how Taipower Company choose its optimal quantity of output and price. I think Taipower Company will make their profit maximization. So they will produce at a quantity where marginal cost equals to marginal revenue. And because this is monopoly, Taipower Company is price maker. So they will make the price as high as possible. So the price will depend on the demand curve. That is this point. Question 4. If other firms can enter the market and the electricity market in Taiwan become perfect competitive, what will happen? I think if it becomes a perfect competitive market, firms will be price takers. So in the view of individual firms, the price is constant. And in long run, the price will match the market equilibrium. And the price will at the lower point of individual firms' average cost. So the economic profit will be zero. The last question is how electricity price and electricity quantity in Taiwan will be changed if the electricity market moves from monopoly to perfect competition. I think the price will go down and the quantity will increase, because in monopoly, the firm will charge as high as possible, so there will be a markup and a deadweight loss. But if we change to perfect competition, the price will at the lower point of long-run average total cost and have no deadweight loss. But if other firms enter, will increase the long-run average total cost curve. The price may be higher than before.